The story begins with Jin Suk, who has amnesia, traveling with his family to their new home. When he arrives, he feels a strange familiarity with the house, even though he's never been there before. His older brother asks him if he likes the house, and he just smiles in response. As they're unpacking, his brother hangs up a calendar showing May 5, 1997. Jin Suk notices a locked room and asks his brother about it. His brother says the previous owners are just storing their belongings there and will come to pick them up soon. The two brothers share a room, and while they are unpacking, their mother calls the older brother downstairs. At that moment, a worker asks Jin Suk, "Is that your brother? How old are you?" But his brother returns and quickly changes the subject. That night, at dinner, Jin Suk says he heard banging sounds from the locked room. His family dismisses it as thunder. It's raining, so Jin Suk drops the subject. Later that night, as Jin Suk is about to go to sleep while listening to music, he hears the noise again. He starts to go check it out, but his brother stops him, saying he didn't hear anything and suggesting they go for a walk to clear their heads. While they're outside, their father calls and asks his brother to come back to the house to find a document. He tells Jin Suk to wait for him. But it's raining heavily, so Jin Suk decides to head back. That's when he sees a group of people in a van abducting his brother. He chases after them but can't catch up. Jin Suk runs home to tell his parents but collapses from exhaustion and passes out. The next morning, he wakes up and tells the police what happened, but they say the van license plate number he gave doesn't exist. It turns out Jin Suk has been taking medication. About a week later, his brother returns home. Jin Suk is suspicious and thinks he's not the same person. The next night, Jin Suk pretends to fall asleep while studying in a chair. In the middle of the night, his brother gets up and tries to test if he's really asleep by holding a pencil close to his eye. When Jin Suk doesn't move, his brother leaves the house. Jin Suk follows him in a taxi. He keeps his distance and follows him all the way to a dead end. He is shocked when the detectives he reported his brother's disappearance to call him sir. Jin Suk runs away and hides, but his brother's subordinates chase after him. In the end, his brother catches him, covers his mouth to make him pass out, and puts him back in his bed at home. When Jin Suk wakes up, he is frightened and tries to hit his brother, who holds him down and asks why he's acting this way. Jin Suk explains that he wasn't asleep last night, that he followed him, and that he saw his subordinates. But his brother tells him that he's just having hallucinations from not taking his medication and that he never took a taxi. Jin Suk believes him. A short time later, he remembers that he never told his brother about the taxi and tells his mother. That night, he can't find his brother, so he goes downstairs and overhears his mother on the phone with his father and brother saying they need to hurry because Jin Suk is starting to find out their plan. Jin Suk tries to run away. His father and brother come and try to catch him, but he escapes and runs into a police station. He tells the police what happened, saying he doesn't understand why his family is doing this to him. A short time later, the police check his national identity information and tell him his name is Jin Suk and that he's 41 years old. Jin Suk insists he's only 21. The officer says he was born in 1977, so in 1997, he would be 21. The officer then says, "Uncle, let's look at the calendar," and shows him that it's 2017. When he looks in the mirror, he sees an old man. Confused, he goes back home to ask his family what's going on. When he gets there, he hears music playing, and from the locked room, he sees a doll covered in blood. The man who pretended to be his brother reveals himself to be a detective and tells him that Jin Suk is a killer with amnesia. He says they've been using hypnosis and pretending to be his family to help him remember. But Jin Suk denies it, saying he's never killed anyone. The detective tells him that he killed a mother and daughter in this house 20 years ago and that they were trying to help him remember that rainy night. He says that the criminals caught his brother, the real brother, which is how Jin-suk figured out what was happening. The medication Jin-suk has been taking is actually sleeping medicine, and the hypnosis was to make him feel like he was 21 again, before the murders. The detective and his team try to abduct him in a car, but Jin-suk jumps out and runs away. The detectives follow him, but at an intersection, another car comes out and they crash into a utility pole, knocking them unconscious. Jin-suk runs into the street and is hit by a car, which sends him to the hospital. He falls into a coma and finds himself back in 1997, the time he wanted to forget. On that day, his family, his father, mother, and brother, and he were on a trip when they were in a car accident. His parents were killed, and his brother has been in a coma for half a year. As a poor student, he couldn't afford the hospital bills. Then, the director of the hospital where his brother is staying offers him a job in exchange for the hospital fees. He asks Jin-suk to kill a woman but to leave her children alone. On May 5, 1997, Jin-suk, out of options, goes into the house. He has a knife and is about to kill the woman, but she sees him. He tells her he won't hurt her if she doesn't scream. The woman agrees, and as Jin-suk is about to leave, her daughter comes down and screams. Jin-suk tries to stop her, but when he chases her into the room upstairs and pushes the door shut, he accidentally stabs her. The mother comes up and tries to scream, so he stabs and kills her, too. As he comes downstairs, a little boy comes out of the locked room. He asks where his mother is, and Jin-suk tells him she'll be down in a little while and that he should hide under the covers and count to 100. Then, he sees a photo and realizes the woman he just killed was the doctor's wife. He goes to see the doctor and tells him he shouldn't have done it for the insurance money. The doctor says that since Jin-suk also killed his daughter, he will kill him, too. He tries to push Jin-suk off the roof, but he accidentally slips and falls to his death. Jin-suk tries to grab his hand but is too late. At that moment, he wakes up. The detective tells him he was going to kill him whether he woke up or not and is about to inject him with something, but he hears Jin-suk say, "I'm sorry," and realizes Jin-suk is remembering. It turns out the little boy that Jin-suk didn't kill that night is the detective. He investigated the case himself and asked Jin-suk if his father was the one who ordered the killings. Jin-suk denies it and says he did it himself. The detective, knowing the truth, jumps off the hospital building and kills himself. Jin-suk injects himself with the medication, accepting his punishment.